You fucked up and you don't even know it. If you clicked on this video, there's a chance that you're not entirely happy or satisfied with where you are in life. You probably feel a general sense of dissatisfaction going through your days or have a hard time visualizing a better future. And as a result of that, you're constantly falling into patterns of procrastination, distraction, and self-doubt. To you, an hour of sitting around and daydreaming of scenarios that will never happen is better than feeling lost and lonely like you usually do, because that's the only escape you have from the daily drudgery of the world. And if daydreaming is not it, you turn to pleasure seeking from external stimuli like video games, Netflix, drugs, or overeating junk food. You know deep down that you're missing something, that you're not realizing your full potential. You feel like there's something more out there, something bigger than yourself or more meaningful, but you just can't muster up enough energy or enthusiasm to even try to figure out what the problem is. You fucked up and you don't even know what you did or how it happened. I know about this feeling all too well because I've been through the same cycle of fucking up and fixing it many times. And as much as I'd like to tell you that I've got it all figured out now, I can't, because that would be a lie. But over the years, I kind of figured out why I fall into these patterns and what to do to come out of it. As a veteran fucker-upper, I now have some insight on how my brain works and makes sense of this world. So, the next time I'm having this big existential crisis, I can say to myself, oh, here I am doing that thing again, and get to actually fixing the problem sooner rather than later. That thing I'm talking about here is living the life of a consumer instead of a creator. Let me say that again. Whenever I found myself going through a time where life felt it had no purpose or meaning behind it, it was because I was consuming way more content than what I was creating. Consuming content mindlessly by scrolling through Instagram reels, switching between social media apps, binge watching TV shows, doing gaming marathons, and shoving that delicious junk food down my throat. Okay, I don't regret the gaming marathons, but you get what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not saying that you might be feeling like a fuck up because you're doing the exact same thing, but if you can analyze and rule out the possibility of anything external that you have no control over that's causing havoc over your life, it is likely that you've fallen prey to the vicious cycle of mindless consumerism. Your brain has gotten so used to this endless fix of cheap dopamine that you now feel like an addict who's helpless and hopeless. So, in this video, I'm going to try to help you go from being a chronic consumer to a creator. In other words, go from being a passive observer to someone who takes action, or at least someone who does something with their life. So why is creation such an important element of our life? You see, as human beings, we all have this innate desire to create, whether it is art, music, literature, or making scientific discoveries. We are driven to explore the world and express ourselves in unique and meaningful ways. Our creative impulse is deeply rooted in our nature and has been a driving force throughout human history. From the earliest cave paintings to the latest advancements in technology, we have always sought to innovate, to push boundaries of what is possible and to leave a mark on the world. This desire to create is what makes us human, and it is what gives meaning and purpose to our lives. So when you alienate your innate desire, something that makes you unique and has been baked into your DNA for thousands of years, of course you're bound to feel like a fuck up. Think about it. Why do so many people have side hustles despite having well-paying jobs? Is it because they have crappy bosses or colleagues? Or because they desire more money? It could technically be any or all of those things, but it could also be that the side hustle serves as a creative outlet for that person. Or what about artists who don't get the recognition they deserve, but still continue doing what they love? What do they get from being poor and misunderstood by society? I'll tell you what they get. They get to wake up every day and work on something that matters, on creating something new, something unique, even if that doesn't have a wide appeal. If you're looking to reach your full potential, you have to create. That is a non-negotiable. And the best part is that you don't even need validation from others when you're creating for yourself. Go paint something instead of sitting around. Write instead of actually endlessly watching videos on how to write. Learn basic design instead of scrolling through your Instagram feed. Sing, dance, make TikToks. Post cringe in the name of comedy. Sell your feet pics to weirdos on the internet. Fucking do something that moves your body and engages your mind for more than 20 seconds. Sure, you'll face negative judgment from some people once in a while, if you decide to share your work, that is. And you will feel bad. But guess what? You'll also feel alive. And that feeling is infinitely better than going through life in full NPC mode. Now that you understand, or at least I hope you do, that shifting to a creator mindset is important, I'm going to tell you how you can do that to realize your full potential. So, what does it mean to reach your full potential? Ideally, it means becoming the best version of yourself. To reach a point where you feel that you've maxed out your skills, abilities, and talents given the circumstances you find yourself in. It doesn't necessarily have to mean professional success or making lots of money, but it usually does lead to that because you're now someone who has something useful to offer to the world. However, all of this comes after you get clear on what you want from life, which, I'm not gonna lie, is itself a huge challenge to overcome. And when you think about that and try to find out what you want from life and don't get a clear answer, you may just fall back into your old patterns and do nothing. So again, we're back to square one. Thankfully, getting started doesn't have to be hard. You can tap into your creator mode that is already within you because it is within everyone else. And you can do it by doing these two things. Number one, rethinking the whole meaning of purpose. When people think of purpose, their mind usually draws images of grand plans and extraordinary accomplishments, as if one day finding their purpose would solve the lack of clarity they have in their life. But purpose doesn't come at you like that. You're not going to magically wake up one day and think, I'm going to solve world hunger or something like that, because that's my purpose. Purpose is something we create rather than find. And it doesn't have to mean something grand. To you, purpose could mean something as enjoyable as eating chicken fingers all day and smoking dope. I mean that, I'm not kidding.
We're gonna get drunk and eat chicken fingers, me, you, and the old man.
Purpose could be anything that gives you a feeling of not wasting your life away. Something that gives meaning to your everyday life. And if that something happens to be smoking dope and eating chicken fingers, then you're one of the lucky ones, trust me. So instead of overthinking things, find something that you're passionate about or you like doing, apart from smoking dope and eating chicken fingers, that is.
Ricky, life isn't about getting drunk and eating chicken fingers all the time, all right?
And see if it's something that can be of some use to the world. And also don't get hung up on the idea of purpose being this one thing that you're going to be chasing for the rest of your life. If that was the case, life would suck. Think about it. Back in my teenage years, my life's purpose was playing Call of Duty and telling people how I stole their mom's virginity. How would my life be if I was still doing the same thing in my 30s? Number two, getting really good at what you do. Once you found your purpose, or you think you do, spend your time doing what the purpose fuels. And do it to the point where you're not just good at it, but really, really good. Like better than 90% of the population who are doing the same thing. It's not going to be easy, but it needs to be done if you're going to go anywhere with your skills. On your journey of acquiring knowledge and improving your skills, you'll face many trials and tribulations. You'll be lonely. You'll also face failures. There'll be mockery from people who said, I told you so. But if your purpose is clear, you'll also keep going and try again. You'll miss the comfort of your old life, the friends you left behind, and the familiarity of your old routine. But you'll also be happy. You'll wake up excited, ready to get to work. You'll work the entire day and fall asleep at night and dream of more work. And then you'll wake up and do it all over again. That is how work feels when you tie a purpose to it. And guess what? Most people will go their entire lives without ever knowing how you do it because they never found their purpose. I'm sorry if that sounds kind of preachy or life coachy, but it's true. Because when you're consumed by this urge to create, most other things in life will take a backseat and feel insignificant to what you set your mind to. Look, there is no easy way to answer the question, how do we stop fucking around and start living up to our true potential? There are countless factors that can hold us back. Fear, self-doubt, external pressures, lack of accountability, and so on. It requires a deep introspective look at ourselves, our values, and our goals, and a willingness to confront our own limitations and fears. But what kind of life can you expect by always living in your comfort zone? When we don't confront our limitations and fears, we may believe that we are not capable of achieving our dreams or pursuing our passions. This can lead us to settling for jobs, relationships, or lifestyles that are unfulfilling or just about good enough. We'll also effectively limit ourselves to a narrow range of experiences and miss out on so much more that the world has to offer. To me, the thought of showing up and pressing the record button on the camera is terrifying because I'm not inherently a very confident or an extroverted person. I always worry about messing up what I'm going to say or appearing or not appearing a certain way. I'm also kind of afraid of being negatively judged because of my accent. But I do this day in and day out regardless because to me, at this point in my life, this feels like my life's purpose. And if I don't do this, it feels like I'm just wasting away my time. And even though my videos might not be up to standards for some people, I know that if I just keep doing it, I'll only get better and one day reach my full potential. Because whatever skill you practice repeatedly, you only get better at it. So I urge you to stop consuming endlessly and start creating without the fear of judgment or negativity because most of it is in your head anyway. Like, comment, and subscribe. Send this to a friend if you think it's helpful. I appreciate you all for sticking around till the end. Peace.